Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. In today's episode, I want to take a look at NBA legends giving their opinion about Dominique Wilkins and how good the human highlight film really was. And I gotta be honest, I didn't cover him for such a long time, so it was about time. But before we dive into that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. And I would say, without any more blah blah, let's get right into it. Now the first two players' opinions that I want to take a look at is from Kenny Smith, who played for the Houston Rockets and obviously is a TNT NBA expert, and D. Brown. If you remember him, he played for the Boston Celtics in the 90s and also won the Slam Dunk contest. Let's hear what they have to say.
Human highlight film, one of the most prolific, efficient, this is what he doesn't get credit for, efficient scorers. Shot over 50% in the years that he was averaging 30 points a game. He was shooting over 50% or close to it every year. He was the first guy that made you watch TNT, that made you watch SportsCenter to see what he did.
That's what I'm talking about, the ultimate entertainer.
Dominique was a very, very special player because of his power.
The power that Dominique has. He has more power than any dunker that I've seen play this game.
And his humor. Dominique was great for me because Dominique he made me understand how fun basketball was. He showed me, like, you know what? You're in the NBA and it's hard work. Enjoy this. Have fun.
Dominique steal. Here we go. He's going. Tom.
Dominique is a prolific scorer. The way that he could jump twice, I think, is unprecedented. I think he was the quickest two-hop jumper of all time.
Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins.
And the next segment that we're going to take a look at involves Charles Barkley, and this has to be one of the greatest clips I've ever put in one of my videos. Charles Barkley and his big wheel story. Let's have a look.
Here we are inside Studio J in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson and Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. Dominique Wilkins getting a statue.
Wow.
What?
Ernie, I just got to say this. When I was a little kid, I was driving around on my big wheel, and then this guy they called him a human highlight film. Some of the dunks and plays he made.
So you're not older than him.
I'm telling you.
He's not older than you.
I was a little kid.
No. You're older than him.
Yeah, you're older than him, big dummy.
I'm telling you.
You weren't on your big wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
I was on my big wheel.
No, just talk about the human highlight film.
Yeah, exactly.
So we could talk too.
I was on my big wheel, and he had this incredible dunk against the Philadelphia 76ers, and I wrecked my big wheel.
That is an absolutely great story. Dominique Wilkins. The first name that I thought when I looked at that list is, boy, Neek's not on the top 50. Human highlight reel?
That was the first guy
for me
I
too.
thought, because when you think of certain players, when you think of certain franchises, you think of certain players.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say Atlanta Hawks, he's the only guy you think of. There's no one else that you could say, well, I think of this guy when I think of the Hawks. No, you think of Dominique Wilkins. So when you thought of the Celtics, you would say Russell and Cousy. Like, you have those names. When you think of the Pistons, you think Isaiah. You think of the 10-team Shaq played with. You think of Shaq, all of those. That was for Chuck, man.
Wait. He can fight his own battles.
That was for Chuck. We
What did I do? You got strike one, you got strike one. I dare you to get the strike three today. Gonna be some furniture moving over there, Ernie. I'm telling you now, Ernie.
How about it, C?
I definitely thought Dominique. And, of course, I wasn't the 50 greatest, but I was at that All-Star game. I got to participate. And, growing up, having, of course, Chuck and Dominique, all these guys be my favorite, the most prized possession I have at home is my autograph 50 players of all time. You remember I brought that on NBA TV last year, and that's the one possession more than any trophy I've ever had or anything else, to have all these guys' autographs on there, guys I've looked up to, guys that were pillars of the game. And so even for the fans, we got rewarded by them making a limited edition poster with all these guys signing it. But I definitely thought Dominique was, you know, on that list, like you guys said. When you just think about the Celtics, how great Larry Bird was, he was always, you know, breaking Dominique's heart. You know, you think about his impact in the league, and it was him. And just because you don't have help or just because you just can't get there doesn't make, you know, your value not that. And so I always thought Dominique was one of the best.
It's unreal. It started in warm-ups. You know, we'd be warming up, and you look over there, and, you know, he's looking down in the basket in warm-ups.
I mean, when he went up to dunk the ball, I never seen so much power in a guy 6'8".
I just remember sometimes looking up sometimes and you think you're getting ready to jump, and Dominique comes out from nowhere. And he got got his knee in your face, you know what I mean? The guy could really jump, and not only just jump, he really had a game.
You always hear dun 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 dun, because you knew somebody was going to be getting dunked on or doing something like that, and you knew Dominique was going to be in there, especially if Atlanta had played that night.
The way he just, I mean, you didn't want to be on those highlights.
You know, when people turn on the TV, they were hoping to see, you know, a Michael Jordan highlight, a Dominique Wilkins highlight.
It's so fitting for Atlanta to be having a statue out for him because he's so Atlanta. That's him. That's his city.
He put Atlanta on the map. You know, the Hawks are Dominique Wilkins. So having a statue that symbolizes what he brought to that organization, what he meant to that community and that city, is well deserved.
You not only were a tremendous basketball player, but a great person, and I'm proud to have known you and been a part of the Hawks franchise with you. So again, congratulations.
Couldn't be happier for him with the statue. I think it's well deserved. He's done a lot for that organization, the city of Atlanta, and now he's getting his due.
Congratulations on being honored with a statue. I'm pretty sure it wasn't made with you in a defensive stance. Seriously, I enjoyed playing against you. You competed, you were a winner, and you still are a winner.
Dominique, probably the most difficult cover for small forwards in the NBA. And not just because of his athleticism, because he did what LeBron James does now, going downhill, but he did it in a half-court setting. So they would throw the ball to him on a half court, and he would just run at you. And guys would just back up, and he could shoot the basketball, and then if he came out, he'd go by you and just dunk the basketball. So for him, he was what LeBron James does right now. He did that in a half court, which is probably even more difficult because the defense is set.
Whoa! Did you see that jam? I don't know how he did that.
Dominique, his ability to score and his athleticism at the same time, I mean, made him different than most.
Dominique takes him to the goal and slam.
I never seen anybody dunk the basketball like Dominique Wilkins in a real game.
In Portland, that team, Dr. Jack Ramsey. But if he played less than 5 years or 6 years, I will forget those years. Because Dominique played 15, 12, 13, and was given the business for 15, 12, 13.
I'm just saying that
Dominique has 26,000 points.
Smitty, the human highlight film. Man, Dominique was special.
One of the greatest nicknames ever. The reason why I wore 21 in college because of him. The one thing I can always say when I describe Nick, a competitor. And just because the way you saw him play in the games, but also in those dunk contests against Michael and Spud, he came out there and competed and was trying to win those dunk contests and won a lot. We all know he could score, but he's one of those guys that just put on a show night in and night out.
Let's get into the fact that he was one of the great dunkers of all time, but that wasn't the only aspect of his offensive game. He had an arsenal that led to a scoring championship.
Yeah, the one thing about Dominique is shoot the mid-range, shoot the jump shot from three, not as much because he didn't have to, because he could come at you, and when he spun and came out of his spins, you had to watch out. I mean, the one thing about Dominique, even though he's a small forward, you better box him out because he was coming to dunk on you. What a great person and what a great ambassador for Atlanta. One of the few guys that have a statue in front of the arena.
You know, I remember it like it was yesterday when the top 50 players of all time were announced and Dominique Wilkins was missing on that list. I was super mad because Dominique was one of my favorite players in the 90s. And not only because of his incredible dunks, but the way he played, just his tenacity was just amazing to me as a child, and I had so much love for him, so I was super mad. And I was so excited on the other hand when he was voted in the top 75 players list. He deserved it so much, and I was just so happy for him. So obviously in my book, he's not only one of the greatest players, but he belongs in my top 50. Just wanted to make sure I say that. And yeah, that was basically it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It's amazing. Only 10% of my audience is subscribed to my channel. So if you want to support this channel, really, come on, it's just a second of your time. Please subscribe, and hopefully you'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.